Check, 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 check. One time for your mind, two time for your drinks. We are live here on Nightcap Knowledge. Another edition of Nightcap Knowledge. It's also Friendsgiving. It's also the Mississippi Move Sleep Out to Help the Homeless, going down in Jackson, Mississippi. We appreciate y'all for tuning in, tapping in, checking in. Got to give a shout out to some of our sponsors, some of our supporters. But we definitely want to recognize Mississippi Move and the Sleep Out to Help the Homeless. That's the focus of the show, but we'll be talking about what it is to be a friend, Friendsgiving, and also what we can do to assist our unhoused brothers and sisters and families during this quote unquote holiday season, Thanksgiving, all of those things. So let's hit our recognition for the evening. You know about this hashtag MS Move Sleep Out. That's going down right here tonight. Sleep Out at Pittman Park, 825 Capitol Street. You want to go ahead and tap in, check in, msmove.org. And it's going to be Black Friday, Be Healed and Be Happy, Feel Good Friday. 2-for-1 slushies at Hemp World South, going down 4270 Robinson Road, Jackson, Mississippi. For more information, you can hit the Linktree Hemp World South. Mississippi School of Health Services and Careers. Begin your career in healthcare today. You can check them out at mshscschool.com or call them at 769-572-7490. One more time for Hemp World South. No medical card needed. Massage therapy provided by Blue Sky Still Waters, Mississippi's first therapeutic hemp CBD relaxation lounge. You got the massage therapy, infused drinks, and of course, your CBD. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Nightcap Knowledge. Put some on your head before you go to bed. Let's get it in. Let's go. Where your air drums at, Mac? I can't see them, Mac. I can't see the air drums. I can't. Just cut it, man. Just cut it. Mac was in the band. I think he played the tuba.
So that's why his air drums are trash.
Where you play the tuba? JJ McClain. Let me turn y'all up, man. Can I hear y'all?
What you say, Bert? What you play?
Football, baseball, and track.
What instrument? We know we all play sports, but what instrument did you play, sir?
Football, baseball, and track.
Oh, okay.
I got your back. So where did you play?
Yeah. So there you go.
Marcus is in the back. We I'm gonna get him a microphone, a hole in his hand.
Yeah.
We're gonna work that out. Marcus wants to know what instrument did you play, Mac?
Trombone, tuba, and blues harmonica.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I can read. I can read music too.
I can't play by ear. All
Yeah,
by ear. He all
yeah,
by ear, but he can play though.
My dad was a
yeah.
band, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Listen, Bird. So I think you're the only one in this group that have not played an instrument. Yeah.
Can we move
So
on to the next subject, please?
yes. Oh, okay. All right.
My
Hey man, look. To
uh,
remind everybody, man, this show right here is rated Black and Uncensored, real talk, real issues, real solutions. And we're gonna tell it like it TI is. We're gonna give each other a hard time. I can pick on Bert. Y'all
What you
can't.
think?
You can't.
that's right.
Long as it's understood, what understood ain't got to be explained. Keep it pimping.
That is. That is, man. That is. So look, ladies and gentlemen, we thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Nightcap Knowledge. Let me make sure we got our branding on screen. Of course, Mr. Mac is going to give us our mental health minute. But Mac, I want to let you know why these guys are hanging out with us tonight. And I thank them for being here because them being here is evidence of what we have as a community, what we have as a network.
Right.
My wife, she made me put a lot of decorations up. Shout out to her for doing that. But I'm gonna say this: to have these brothers here and to know the conversations that we've had over the past year, the conversations that we've had over the past 5 years, the moments that we've been there for each other over the past 5 years, 10 years. You think about that and you think about when I come to Jackson, I have that same situation. I have people that I can count on. And I really love the idea of Friendsgiving. But I'm not promoting the idea of Friendsgiving to take away from what we know as thanks taking or Thanksgiving, because we've got indigenous brothers and sisters that are living and existing on reservations that you could say is a band-aid to what was done years ago. But for us to be people of color, and to be operating in a cooperative and a collective mindset to do for those as you are right now in the city of Jackson, the county of Hinds, where we are assisting our unhoused brothers and sisters and all the families that are affected by this with what can really be thought of as a Friendsgiving. You got people, y'all out there, and we got people that we've known for years that are operating out of what is now known as Pittman Park. And some people we've been able to get to the point where they got, and I've been telling Marcus and Bert about, the things that people that come out of the mental health institutions or the moments of incarceration that they live through. When you get them a birth certificate, when you get them a driver's license, you get them a PO box. That don't cost a whole lot of money, but it gives them a chance at remaining self-sufficient. And I'm not gonna say it gives them a chance at not being unhoused, because unhoused might be a choice that they make principally.
Right. Right.
But we're extending what we know as the sleep out, or I'm characterizing it as something of now we're building friendships. And I think it's important for us to think of friendship outside of moments where we meet people at work, we meet people at school, we meet people at church. Sometimes you're gonna meet people on the corner.
Yeah. So man, what you saying that Mr. Perry, Mr. Charles,
Yeah.
been out here with us probably since 2019,
And what's the
2018.
young brother name too that
Oh,
that you got the booth?
Charmaine,
Yeah.
the one that's full of shit. That's a whole nother conversation.
Okay. I ain't
but you, but
he
you, but you,
consistent, he consistent in a sense though. He
but
consistent.
the thing is like
My bad.
it's a good and a bad thing, right?
True.
We
True.
know these guys, and they know us by name. They know our vehicle. They be looking forward to it, to seeing us. But these brothers been out here for 5 years. you know what I'm saying, in the still in the same severe homeless setting. So, you know what I'm saying, life happens. When we think about, damn man, my cable messed up again, man, my internet messed, you know, the small things we get so upset about. Um, that's part of our normal day to day.
Right.
When other folks' normal day to day is trying to see who's gonna come and post up and pass out meals, or who's gonna, if somebody gonna drop off some, or if somebody gonna dump some crates. So when they take these pallets and break them up, they can make a fire. Our norm, you know. But it's the crazy thing about it is, you know, Mr. Charles is a veteran, right?
Yeah.
Did, you know, several years in the army. You got
Yeah.
other folks that had a regular day to day like ours now, that sometimes we get complained about, that now have a new day to day. They got a new life. And you know what I'm saying? It's like it's a group of guys over there now by one of the burn barrels. And they was like, man, shit, I'm staying here tonight. They got a burn barrel. And
Right.
they done posted up.
I can be
They done
warm.
claimed they spot, and they done
Right.
posted up at 8 o'clock. They were posted up by that burn barrel. And that's
Yeah.
what they plan on staying at until in the morning. um, and I want to say this. It has been raining since about 4:30. It
Yeah.
has been misting on and off since about 4:30, and everybody's still here. Um, I
So
think,
Mac, talk to us about who's our. I know that you know
yeah.
our usual participants and the brothers and sisters that we know that are going to be out there. Talk to us about like some of the organizations and the people that are usual suspects that are out there.
So we got Mississippi in Action, Valencia Robinson. She's out here. Her and her team. They came with a whole setup, clothes, tons of clothes. You know, Mu Sigma chapter. We got full effect spring. I mean, summer 22, 23 line out here. Got some of the old heads. Brother Jasper just left. You know, Brother Jasper from 72 to fall 84 with
Yeah.
Deputy Dog. We got all of them out here. We got sorors, the Zeta chapters out here. Big shout out to Mendenhall Zeta chapter. They came out here deep. Our friend Chanel Ross also coordinated with the state troopers from out of the Canton office. They donated stuff here. We've had a lot of folks that are norm regulars, and then we had a lot of folks that are becoming new regulars. Like one of the
Yeah.
Eastern Star chapters donated. They out here. The Black Panther Party, the health, you know, their healthcare program. They out here doing hot cocoa, and we got more and more folks that are coming on board. This year, one of our good friends is a sponsor, which is Mississippi School for Health Services.
And look, I'm gonna
And
go ahead and add the Keith that he just popped in, man. So we
yeah, the Keither and Cheney should be, uh, Cheney should be out, but I'm gonna get out in a minute, and I'm gonna mute,
okay.
and I'm gonna walk around so y'all can kind of see
All right. So what we'll
what it's
do
looking
with
like.
that, we'll highlight you and mute you, but we'll have a conversation with the guys that I have here with me,
Okay.
and also the Keitha. I just got him in. The Keitha, what's up, man?
Hey everybody, how y'all doing tonight?
What's good, bro? How you doing?
I'm
Oh,
doing well.
guys, it's Keitha's birthday. Actual birthday today, right now.
Hold on. Let's get our brother some horns. Let's give him the. We gotta give him the applause.
I love it. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate it.
There you go. Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday.
All good.
This your 12th birthday, correct? The
47,
youngest.
47. I
The
need
47.
all mine, baby. I ain't finna leave nothing on the board.
There you go. All right. Well, look, let me get Mac highlighted so we can see exactly what he has going on there. And then we're gonna have a conversation around the key. You can tell us why you continue to show up and do what you do for the sleep out. But before you do that, I've got my friend Marcus and then my friend Bert here. We're having, you know, what we call him, you know, our family get together, our friends giving. So they're here, and I just wanted to welcome them into the space and so that they can see what we do with Nightcap Knowledge, and then also what we do with the sleep out. So Nikita, tell us, you know, one, who you are, and then, you know, why you continue to support the sleep out and the action of what it means.
Well, first and foremost, thanks for having me on the show. Thank you for the dedication and the hard work over years that you and the whole team have done for these efforts. The plight of homelessness is real. With the economy and inflation as it is, rents going up, the ability to
Yeah.
buy going, getting a little more challenging for people economically. Homelessness is definitely on the rise. And so
Yeah.
we identified this years ago, trying to save 2 of the shelters. And I believe, 9 years ago?
Yeah.
So,
9 years ago.
so I've been participating ever since. And even though I may have ascended to new heights, I don't believe you should make new friends. I think you should still have the same friends you had when you were at another point in life. And
Yeah.
so we've been at all 9. When we were on the city council is when we started this. And now we've just been elected to be the commissioner elect for the Central District Public Service Commission.
Hold on. Say that again. You've been elected to do what?
To be the public service commissioner for the Central District of Mississippi.
Hold on.
It's kind of a big deal, but it's more of a big deal, the work of this homelessness situation and then being committed to it over the years. And
That's
so,
right.
To bring light to the situation, to partner with you guys has been a joy. To just partner with y'all, to be around good people. And so the reason I keep doing it is because even now, like when I'm walking down the streets downtown,
Mm-hmm.
there are homeless people that say, "Hey, Mr. Stamps, how you doing?"
They know you.
They know me.
Yeah.
So, for me to be able to connect with folks, this is my part every year, to really let these stories resonate,
Yeah.
let the journeys, because when you sit down with folks and you just give out some food once a month or once a year or whatever, okay, that's cool. But when you sit down and spend the night in the conditions with people,
Right.
and you can talk to them and you can hear their stories, it makes me a better man. It makes me a better father. It makes me a better friend.
Yeah.
It makes me a better policymaker, because I can add that to my brain to say, okay, when this issue comes up or issues connected to this, it's personal because I know people. I know
Right.
name
Right.
who are in these similar situations. And again, it just makes me an overall better person. So this is my time, and I participate throughout the year, but this is the big moment where we are able to raise awareness at a higher level and to partner with folks who are truly committed to helping people, like Mississippi Move, Phi Beta Sigma, Zeta chapters, and all the other people who participate. It's been a joy for me, and I appreciate y'all.
Man, look, we appreciate you, and we appreciate your commitment to the cause. We're trying to get Brother Cheney up in here, Dr. Marcus Cheney. He is there on the scene as well with you all at Pittman Park. Dr. Cheney, can you hear us?
Yes, sir, I can. Can you hear me?
Most definitely, most definitely. Well, look, go ahead and introduce yourself. I know you're no stranger to Nightcap Knowledge, but we've got some friends here with us this evening, and we definitely want them to know who you are, and then I'll definitely give them a chance to introduce themselves and give their thoughts from a perspective of, with us being on the coast and attempting to create something like what we've done in Jackson with the sleep out, attempting to do that here on the coast as well. So, Dr. Cheney, I'm gonna highlight you, and then we're gonna keep it moving from there.
All
Walk
right.
in some light.
Oh
Okay,
yeah, you
now
need,
you
I'm
good.
you need a little bit of light, man.
You said what now?
Need a
Put
little
your
bit of light.
interior lights on.
Yeah, drop down your visor and let your light come on.
All right. Thank you, Decatur.
Some life hacks.
Is that better?
That's a little better.
Okay.
We
Thank you.
in that.
All right. Again, thank you all for inviting me on. I'm Marcus Cheney. I am here in basically several capacities. One with the fraternity, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. We've been a part of this great occasion for actually 9 years. And it's something that Mac Epps brought to the organization. And to be quite honest with you all, this has been duplicated across the entire country for fraternity chapters to do this sleep out with the homeless. And
Yeah.
so we have seen this from the fraternity standpoint. We've seen this duplicated across the entire country. I'm also here representing Mississippi School of Health Services and Careers. We have been a co-sponsor for the last 2 years, and so I'm very glad to be involved in both capacities. But again, I think Chuck, as you said, this is something that yes, Mac brought this to the fraternity, and then of course partnering with Mississippi Move, we've been doing it for 9 years. But I think it's something that can be duplicated across the entire country.
Right.
And we've seen that within the fraternity. I've every time I see something, I send it to Mac and say, hey, you see this chapter's doing it now, this chapter's doing it now. So I think it's something definitely, if you all are interested in duplicating it on the coast, I think it'd be something great.
Most definitely. I think it would be a easy lift for us. There is a large homeless population. There are a lot of organizations that are doing similar work to what we've began in Jackson with Mississippi Move. And that's just one of the things that that we've been doing. As we got more people chiming in. This is Nightcap Knowledge. We are live from Mississippi Moves Sleep Out to Help the Homeless. We're here in Gulfport, Mississippi, but we're joined by Dr. Marcus Cheney, Commissioner Keitha Stamps, and then Executive Director for Mississippi Move, Mac Epps. And I also have with me my friends from the coast, Bert and Marcus. Y'all go ahead and jump in and introduce yourselves to our brothers here that are joining us from Hinds County.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Bert Jackson. It's interesting to be in this capacity or to sit here with people who I've heard of, spoken with, and spoken of. But my background is education, but recently I've changed into mental health, and we'll talk about that as it relates to homelessness in a minute. But I'm just happy to be here and have the opportunity.
Marcus, where you at, man?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Marcus Connor. I'm a mechanical engineer and also a director of music at my church. And this right here really strikes home on ways to have an impact, especially when it comes to homelessness, and also how we can pull in the churches as a part of this. So I'm grateful for this opportunity to sit and be a part of this.
That's it. Look, we're connecting all of the dots. Connecting all the different communities. We got trust hubs that exist in all of these different places between fraternities, sororities, churches. You got your political associations. There's a lot of connectivity that we can roll into with 2024 as we approach this presidential election. There are issues as Keitha spoke to in terms of policy creation that we can address, and we can do it from a community level. Like, we know the things that we need to impact, but we got to do it in a way that it truly affects the people that need it the most. So Bert, from the mental health perspective, and you hinted at something to the effect of you're in a different capacity now and you're seeing things in a different light. What exactly are you feeling as it relates to, like, this? We're in this Thanksgiving quote unquote season, and your new capacity and what you're doing in terms of mental health and mental health provider. What are you thinking and what are you feeling right now?
Again, I appreciate the opportunity. For the past 16 to 17 years, I've been in school counseling, but recently I've transferred into direct mental health, line of mental health with Singing River Services, one of the organizations down here on the coast. I serve as the Jackson County Children's Director, and I've got an opportunity to have my first directors meeting this past Friday.
Hmm.
And when you sit with the team of directors, as I said, in Singing River Services, it's just one capacity, but the majority of what Singing River Services helps with is mental health. And what's been going on, I would say 60 to 70% of the org is focused on adult mental health, from the ages of 18 up. And the majority, I say, of that 60 to 70%, 40% deal with homelessness and abandonment issues.
Mm.
Of that 40%, I would say 20 to 25% are veterans. And we were speaking before we went on the air. You would, people who don't interact with it on a direct or a daily basis, you think, maybe because an individual has a veteran's preference or a history being a veteran, they would have easy or direct access to the help that's needed or available to them. But in that same statement or in that same vein, availability and knowledge of it is what hinders them from getting it. And then, it could be alienation from family. It could be displacement related to movement. It could be many different things. But what's been going on and what I see when they're discussing it in the meetings is that they don't have the opportunities, as Chuck was talking to us earlier, simple things like uh, a social security card, driver's license, those basic things that the way the government is set up gives you acknowledgement of who you are in a person. They just don't have access to it. And if you don't have the normal things that we as people who are blessed and fortunate to have settings that we take for granted, they're at a disadvantage because they don't have a friend or the mental capacity to function to know how to get those things and access those things.
Mac, you want to respond to that? Because I know that we have a lot of veterans and also college graduate and veterans that we've encountered during this work in addressing homelessness.
Man, it's and you know, it's a real crazy thing because we everything you talked about, like right now, and I know Stamps pointed this out a lot, um, that we have about 5 to 6,000 children that's in JPS that are technically homeless because their parents move 5 or 6 times a year. You know, um, and so we got instability. So when you have when you're not stable, that leaves you right there at the doorstep for becoming severe homeless. And I say severe homeless meaning that you don't have a couch to chill on or somewhere to crash. You are outside in the elements, under the bridge, in the woods, in a tent, and you have some of the folks that have walked many walks, and right now they are out here, and it's so many different services that we know that have missed them. We have a rise of folks that have intellectual disabilities, meaning that they are probably in somewhere of a group home setting or therapeutic foster care, something, and now they have aged out of the system and
Yeah.
they out here.
Absolutely.
They out here. I seen one of my old clients, and I've seen her about about 3 different years, and I watched her transition for her continue to lose weight, and I've seen the crowd and folks that she's hanging out with. Um, but you know, she that's what happens. Sad thing about it, there's no continuation process. There's so much is happening, as folks like Stamps and others that fight. Our friends Kia Summers and others that fight for legislation and policy to help community, um, because they are our folks. You know these folks. Some of these folks went to school. One of my uh, new frat brothers saw one of his classmates out here,
Mm.
last year that was homeless. And he just like, and his classmate avoided him because he felt ashamed.
Yeah.
But this is somebody you like, y'all on that same level together, and then they have circumstances that happen where they're out here. It's it's a lot, but it's happening all across our state. And we see systems like Bert saying that where you see that if you don't get engaged with this, if you don't get interact, these are the things that it could lead to. One of the factors that it could lead to if we're not intervening, especially with our youth, um, at an early age or early start, and giving them more opportunity and more support to prevent things from like this from happening. But high poverty, when you have a high poverty, you're going to have a high point of homelessness because right now we still got folks that lost their house in Rolling Fork during a tornado that still living in hotels in Greenville.
One of the things, if you don't mind, Mac, you just hit on something that hits directly home for me in the transitions what I've dealt with. Going from being a school counselor, people would be amazed. Probably not you all because you deal with it directly, but people would actually be amazed of how many students are classified as homeless.
Hmm.
And that's something that we might need to dig into to shed a light on, what it truly means, uh, or what is the designation of
You know,
unhoused or homeless means. Go ahead, Keith.
you know, the designation is simply this: if you're living in a condition that's not your home,
Right,
then
Break it
you're
down.
transient,
right.
staying with this person, then that relationship falls out because of uh, a lack of emotional control, lack of financial stability, lack of family relationship. Then you have the you have people couch surfing with kids.
And
And
even more specific.
so
I'm
then
sorry, I
go
didn't
those,
cut you off. Go ahead, bro.
when you have the situation is bad when you see school buses pulling up to weekly rate hotels and the whole bus gets full in one stop.
Picking them up.
And then, but then also, I go and watch this stuff. Right, just sit back from afar, just watch. I'll go and see a school bus, but then when the school bus pulls up, you see kids getting out of cars, and then you see kids walking up from around the side of the building, and
Yeah.
the whole bus is full in one stop.
One stop.
Means that there's something going on in this situation that's not the normal kid walk out the front door, get on the bus.
Right.
You know,
Not to
so
wave at the front door with your mom in the household.
right,
Or
not that.
or if the child was fortunate enough maybe to be receiving social security and there's somebody who's taking advantage of the situation and then they fall out for whatever reason, it's not working, I'm going to let you stay here, and maybe you're getting the minimum of maybe $400 to $600 a month, and I'm making you basically pay to stay here. We don't have any real relation. I might be a distant cousin or an aunt or an estranged.
I'm finna get this check out for
I'm
you.
gonna get this check out of you.
Yeah.
And then you're taking advantage of the situation. And then we fall out, or I don't agree with something you do, or I can't control you or manipulate you, or I don't get the money that I think I should. Now you're displaced again. That occurs all too often.
Jump in there,
You know,
man. I think you muted.
one thing I
Yeah.
noticed, man, that the guys out here are getting younger and younger,
What you mean,
and
man?
the women out here are getting older and older.
Break that down though. Like
So,
give
so
me
like,
some context.
so like the guys we see out here, are younger and younger. Like you say, there's some cats from around the way. You know what I'm saying? They hang out on the different corners. They are out here, and they are out here in the park with us. Like they just didn't roll up just to say, "Hey, what's going on?" or whatever. Like they are out here for services and resources in need, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then, like when we first got here, it was an older lady that was here waiting on us at 4 o'clock. And the last couple of times we've had older ladies, we have senior citizens, and it just shows you that there's a shift in something. That you see the population of homeless men growing, and they are getting younger. Like not recently graduated from high school, but the population of homeless women are getting older. Like you are severe homeless, you've been out here for a while. If you
Yeah.
see me out, if y'all see me look around, I'm always watching my surroundings. I see people that, this park, they move all night. Someone is coming up, someone's leaving, someone
Yeah.
is, doing different stuff. And then so in the Keith project doing the same thing. He's sitting looking straight. But this is something we always do because there are poverty pimps, poverty pirates, right? That we see. There's some folks making the moves around here.
Yeah.
And so you always gotta look at the situation for what it really is. Someone is going to take advantage of these folks. You know what I'm saying? Because some of these folks out here do get some type of income, and someone is waiting to take advantage of the situation. So you got so many different layers of things that create this type of situation and keep them there.
Yeah.
And then
Not
it
not
create
Yep.
and
So
based on the information that you were saying, that is the recipe which creates a pipeline. I can't trust the people. Like, for instance, if they're in high school, I was allegedly placed with somebody that I thought I could trust, and then they took advantage.
Right.
Then I get out of that situation and I'm moved around and I'm manipulated and I'm put in another situation where I can't trust. And please be not dismayed. Firsthand knowledge. Sometimes when you're placed in a situation where adult day treatment or adult therapy, those people are manipulative and take advantage of situations with these so-called adult daycare when they're not doing what they need to do. And here we go again with somebody being manipulated and taken advantage of. And then
Yeah.
after a while, when you consistently are manipulated and taken advantage of with the little bit of money you have, or somebody taking it, or like I said, taking advantage of it, you know, you're left to your own defenses, and it becomes a situation where, hey, maybe I should just depend on myself and try this transient life, or what we refer to as homeless. At
Right.
least that way I can depend on myself, or I feel that I can trust my own self, and I won't be taken advantage of.
so you talk about that. I keep looking back because the two of the guys that have been helping us, and they keep putting stuff that someone give them on the back of my truck. So I can like I told them y'all put one more thing on the back of my truck. I'm gonna keep it and I'm gonna leave. And they were like, they put it back there to keep the other folks from stealing it from them.
Yeah. But they
And
they know
so
you ain't finna leave them. They know you gonna be
I
up
know
all
it,
night.
but you know what I'm saying. But I keep like, what are you
Yeah.
doing now? They keep giving me stuff. So every time I look back, somebody's putting something on the back. One of the two guys are putting
Yeah.
something on the back of my truck to keep other folks from stealing it from them. Because that's the type of world out here, right? You don't know who's really for you. You in need, and it's a really, when you hear the term doggy dog world, it is really some folks. They show empathy and kindness to others and say, "Hey man, I got two of these. You can have one of these." No, but the other folks, if you put it down, they gonna get it
Yeah. It's mine.
because they don't know where they gonna get the next whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So they gonna get it from you while they see it available. So yeah, and so they just keep putting stuff on the back of my truck, and I'm like, what did you just put back there now? But um,
So
but yeah,
I
jump
think
in with I'm gonna go back out, guys. I'm gonna go back out. But listen, man, the Keitha and Chain is gonna finish it up. But I'm gonna go
Yeah.
back out because I know folks are starting to pull off and leave, and I'm gonna make sure everything is good out there, man. But look, I appreciate y'all. We definitely had a lot of supporters and a lot of new folks. So big shout out. I'm gonna send you the information, Chuck. This guy, he's a tree cutting businessman. He donated 2 racks of wood and want to donate more.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna send you his information. I'm gonna text it to you when I jump off. But so I gave him something anyway for showing up just because he's willing to do that. And he said he want to help keep them stocked with wood throughout the winter so that they can be able to
Ah,
use
that's
it. So
major.
oh yeah,
That is.
I'm gonna send you his information right now when I get off.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
Cool.
guys.
We'll be looking out for that, Mac. Appreciate you for what you're doing, and
Yes,
stay
sir.
safe out there. Stay warm.
All right.
so. One of the things I wanted to kind of, as I think through the process, and I was thinking about the brother that you have with you, Chuck.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of times, um, Jackson Public Schools are criticized for their test scores. They're criticized for their dropout rate. They're criticized for um, just the number of students just graduating from high school. And when you think about it, I wonder how many of those students, not only are they transient,
Mhm.
but how many of those students are actually um, getting everything they need to be successful.
All
Uh,
needs met.
right. And we know that some of these students, the only meal that they get, good meal, is when they
At
get it
school.
at lunchtime
Yeah.
or during that morning. We know that I remember when a good friend of mine was principal at an elementary school, and they were so worried about his scores, but they never dug deep to find out that at his school
Right.
he never had the same kids at his school. They were always, every year they were switching out, but he was criticized because they didn't do well on testing. So I think that all of this contributes to what happens in Jackson Public Schools as opposed to the other surrounding school districts. So it was just something I was just thinking about, and it just kind of just I started thinking about when Dekeitha was talking, and when the brother was talking about he left the school and went into private. It just made me think about it a little bit.
You are 1000% correct, because like I said, the majority of my time has been spent as a school counselor, and in high school, where I spent the majority of my time, you're a glorified, I want to say, you don't really spend a lot of time counseling. You spend more time doing administrative work. But within that construct, and let's just speak truth to it, when you're in a chocolate school district in a chocolate city, uh,
Chocolate.
those opportunities that are given, I'm not really going to be focused on taking a test when I haven't eaten for the last 2 days.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to be focused on making sure that I do the best that I can on this algebra test when I'm the oldest child in a household and I have two siblings that I'm taking care of and they haven't eaten either. So
Yeah.
those are the things that's missed, because you don't have the same opportunities when you're growing up in an environment or a community to where you have a white picket fence, um, you're the product of generational wealth, you have a tutor in your household, possibly even you have generations living in your household, a mother, a father, a
Yeah.
grandmother, or both grandparents. Those things play a key part in the education. So where things are missed from an obvious standpoint, one thing that may be a ripple will create a tidal wave somewhere else. So
And you say that, and I guess you learn, um, and Chuck knows this. Our school, um, I didn't realize until we really started with our programs at our school, which are all allied health programs. There are during our white coat ceremony and during the time that we have students applying for the programs, I find out that there are more students that are getting GEDs or equivalents instead of an actual high school diploma and walking across the stage. And a lot of times at our white coat ceremonies, this is the first time that they have actually been able to walk across a stage.
Mm.
And the people that are there supporting them, you would think that that is the first time they actually had that opportunity to graduate. A lot of them are getting their GEDs from schools. They're getting them online,
Yeah.
and it's okay. But it just tells me that the number of students, if I went back and I looked at the number of students that we have had just over this year, and find out how many of those students that compare the ones that have high school diplomas, some college, and
Yeah.
then GED equivalent. 50% of those students are just have GEDs. And so when they come across that stage, it's I'm not sure what happened in their lives. I don't get that deep in it, but it just tells me that there was a reason why that they did not finish up high school.
Yeah.
And to go back to what you said, like I said, here we go again with situations that create pipelines to transientness and homelessness, because people tend to focus on the surface or superficial things, or
Yeah.
the what as opposed to the why.
This is what you did, but I still have no idea why you did it.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the part that I think the sleep out allows us to do, is like you don't learn the story of some of the brothers and sisters out there where they marched in the boom and now they find themselves unhoused and camping out in Pittman Park for day or nights at a time based on what they do during the day. They may say, well, I'm not going to be able to make it back to this side of town where I built community with these people that frequent this particular area, but I'm still a person that had a lot of lived experience. And for you to understand what I may need in the future, you got to understand my past.
There you go.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, homelessness is something that is not only affecting the Jackson metro areas that you all said on the coast, not
Yeah.
only in the state of Mississippi, the entire country. If you look at the numbers and how they've increased across this entire country, that tells you we have a serious problem across our country when it happens to deal with this whole situation. So it's not just locally, statewide, it's nationally.
Yeah.
And for me, it was an eye-opening experience, because I was affected by it. Most people, when you think about homelessness, you think about destitute. But it took Chuck and Mac to explain to me that there are some people who have actually chosen that way of life. And I didn't, I would, until they explained it to me, it was kind of a hard pill to grasp or understand. But like, yeah, up until 10 years ago, and I consider myself a pretty learned man, but you would be actually shocked at the numbers of people who've actually chosen that as a way of
Chosen it.
life.
Yeah.
And like I said, it took Mac and Chuck to explain that to me when they first got into this, about learning people's history and why they would choose that way of life.
And some of them are choosing that way of life based on the impact that their day-to-day actions might have on the people that they love. So it's like I love my mother, I love my sister and her kids, but I know that I'm not going to give up doing X, Y, and Z, or I know the baggage that I come with. So I don't want to put these kids in a situation where I'm making it harder for them. So they make a choice.
I remove myself.
I take that common denominator out of the equation, and the equation changes.
There you go.
And regardless of if it may be the best choice or not, but that's their thought process.
Right. That's the way that they're thinking about it. So I think all of these are very, very, very important points that we're making. But it also, and I want to bring this back to the front of the conversation. Like, we do this in the in a way that precedes or walks us into the latter parts of the week with Thanksgiving. But we got to think about what might have been taken from these individuals that they ended up in a homeless or unhoused situation, in the same manner that our indigenous people were presented, where you've got colonizers that will come in, they're gonna say one thing and then they do another, and then you end up in a situation where you don't need their influence to survive. Their presence alone puts you in a position that um that caused you harm. Just pure presence, like you being here, caused me and my family harm. And your consistent presence put me in a situation where now my entire community is affected for generations just by you being here. What does that look like when those two things coincide with community or constituents and the people that are supposed to represent them? Your place in office has caused me, or your presence in office has caused me and my community more detriment than benefit.
I think those words turn into gentrification.
I'm just saying.
I think that's
There
what
you
that
go.
gentrification. And if you really wanted nationalization, all those words that really only benefit one side.
Yeah. So the conversation around homelessness and unhoused people, it really, and this is like why Mississippi Move as an organization is so important, and the partners that Mississippi Move has been able to, assemble or connect. Just from this conversation that we've had tonight around homelessness, like you looking at policy implications, you looking at the implication of just pure presence of the wrong people inhabiting a position. Like, what does it look like when a Dekeitha Stamps gets into office? What does it look like when and I'm gonna ask this question, and I know we got to wrap. What does Mississippi look like if Johnny Dupree had been elected governor during his first bid?
But then those things, you know what the answer is for that.
Right.
And so
Right.
that's definitely a rhetorical question,
Yeah, yeah.
because I can't make sure that those friends of mine can't receive funding and turn a volleyball um
Turn some grant dollars into a
turn
volleyball stadium.
into a volleyball
Shut
stadium.
up.
I mean, just think about this last election, and I'm not trying to be political, but
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 it's the
we are.
truth. It's the
we
truth.
know that um, we still have a long way to go, even with the number of folks that turned out in Hinds County, and Hinds County did well,
Mm-hmm.
but it was still not enough. And so when you talk about your elected officials, I think this is, and I'm not trying to get off on the subject. I just sent Max. I'm gonna send it to you too, Chuck. I sent
Okay.
Max some information today, and people don't realize that when we elect our officials, especially our president of the United States, it has implications even dealing with our federal judges. And I just sent him
Very much
some
so.
information today about what I read. A lot of folks don't pay attention to stuff,
Yeah.
but there's been the appeals court out of St. Louis, which there are three judges. Two are Trump appointees. One is a Bush appointee, and they're trying to change the voting rights.
Right.
And we don't, and which could have an effect on all of us. But I don't think people understand that your vote, when you're voting not only for the person, but you're voting for what they can do for the next 2 to 4 years, and
Yes.
how they can determine what you get for the next 2 to 4 years, which could affect you
10 years.
lifelong. When you talk about a federal judge
Decade.
appointment, that's lifelong.
Right.
So I just think that, we still got a lot to do. Um, still got a lot of work to do. But I will say this: I think, you're absolutely correct. I don't think the both mindsets are set on homelessness, since that's what we're talking about. Just like a whole lot of other things, I think everybody has their agenda, and sometimes it's not the people's agenda, it's their agenda.
Right.
And so, as long as we don't really understand the power that we have, and we pay attention to everything else and not understanding the power we actually have in voting, things won't change. As soon as we understand the power that we have, and I mean the power that we actually have, 40% of in the state of Mississippi are minorities. If 40% would vote, then you would have a different person in the governorship. That's just
Most
the real
definitely.
deal.
12 years over. And I know we've got somebody chiming in from the comments. Shout out to Anthony Moore for tuning in, tapping in with us on Nightcap Knowledge. I think he may be on a bit of a delay, but his comment for be for the people is the most poignant of the two. But he brings into the conversation, please don't start with this Voter Rights Act because Obama nor Biden has lifted a finger to maintain it. But here's the thing that we gotta bring into our consciousness is that if we don't hold our elected officials accountable, they're not gonna do anything. So the people that are positioning themselves to promote legislative things that their constituents want to see, they're doing that because their constituents elected them to do just that. We got to do the same goddamn thing.
And then on the flip side, Brother Moore, I think we said
Excuse
it
me. My bad. I said goddamn. My bad.
twice,
Goddamn. Shit.
3 times. Shit on it. Yeah. Brother Moore, what we were
Sorry.
gonna say or what we were gonna address is that I think some people, when you start speaking politically, whether it be Barack Obama, Biden, or the one that's trying to throw a temper tantrum and get in back in.
Ugh.
I think what people tend to forget when you're at a presidential level, you have a priority list.
Yeah.
And don't forget, when Obama got in, he was trying to balance a budget. You can't do nothing without no money. And then when after Biden got or is in right now, I mean, the world was going to hell in a handbasket based on what the name I won't mention. That doesn't mean that they shouldn't have addressed it or they shouldn't have done more. But I think when people get in those positions, except for the one that's trying to get back in, he don't give a damn about nothing or nobody but himself. He is a true narcissist. But the other presidents who act presidential and try to at least pretend that they are presidential tend to focus on priorities. And I just really don't think that at that time, Obama nor Biden's was focusing on the Voting Rights Act as a priority. Not to say that I disagree with you.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't disagree, but I always have to caution us about political agenda, and political agenda is influenced by the people that elect you and the people that donate to your campaign. So at the end of the day, in the capitalistic system and environment that we operate in, if we don't pivot from it, then we have to participate in a way where we're able to communicate to politicians exactly what we need and what we want them to do. And so and I hate to do this. We running, we almost at an hour. I know that the sleep out is about to do the closing press conference. And Dr. Cheney, I don't want to keep you from that. If you want to give us some closing words as it relates to encouraging people on what we want them to do as it relates and how they can support the efforts of Mississippi Move and support the efforts of the sleep out. Now is the time to do so, and then we're gonna close out and we're gonna keep it moving.
You know, the only thing I would say is that we're doing this tonight, but I would encourage people to really not only work with Mississippi Move, but with other organizations and doing this not just tonight. We're sleeping out with them tonight, but I encourage all organizations, and Mississippi Move has done this numerous times throughout the year, just to come out and just really have lunch with them. If you want to do that, if you don't feel comfortable in sleeping out all night, come out during the day. Same folk that we have here tonight at Pittman Park are the same folk that's going to be in Pittman Park noontime. And so I just encourage people to participate. These people need everything, all those non-perishable items that they need. They need jackets, they need coats, socks, all of those things they need. So I encourage folks that are out there. Sleeping out is one thing, but I encourage them to just participate in some form of fashion and try to be as a beacon of light to the folks that are out here.
Well, Dr. Tanner, we appreciate you for those words. I think is on point in how we can show up for our brothers and sisters that are unhoused, especially in the capital city. But this is something that we can definitely address no matter where you live. You can show up for people, show up for your neighbors in a way that is beneficial to them and you and your entire community. So we're gonna let you go. We got the closing press conference kicking off at 10 p.m. and
That is
then there will
correct.
be a morning press conference. And do we know what news outlets are out there, Dr. Cheney?
I've seen WAPT and I've seen LBT.
Very good. So if you out there, make sure you tune in to WLBT, WAPT. That's the Jackson area, ABC and NBC affiliates. So you can find out anything that you need to know about Mississippi Move. You can make a donation to Mississippi Move to support the efforts of the Sleep Out and others at msmove.org. And with that being said, hopefully somebody make a donation and we're gonna get to where the money resides.
Thank
Peace
you
out.
all, Chuck. Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. We'll see you next week. Nightcap Knowledge. Thank you, Bert. Thank you, Marcus, for being here with me. It's a Friendsgiving. Make sure you be a friend to somebody. Hey, Anthony, we appreciate you, brother. We're going to see y'all next week, 9 p.m. every week right here at Nightcap Knowledge.
What a money to die, 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 what a money, what a money, what a money.